Frankensteiner aficionado. I am Later Man.
Marvelous!
On your left, we have Helping Hand 23.
Hello.
I forgot what I knew about the Winter Soldier, because I did do a pretty comprehensive wiki skim, but I think the last time I looked at it was when I recorded this originally in 2022. You know anything about the Winter Soldier, though?
Winter Soldier, not too much before this movie, but I knew a little about him. Like, he's always been an assassin as far as I know. And I think that Bucky's friend was brought in later in the comics. But I don't know.
Bucky's friend.
Not Bucky, Captain America's friend. Winter Soldier being that. They were brought in the same time. So
oh, okay.
They were brought near the same time.
Bucky was originally like a kid in the comics. Nothing to do with the Winter Soldier. And then they brought in, Bucky Barnes.
Oh. I was completely wrong.
Well, I mean, you were like kind of right in that he was brought in later in the comics. But from what I remember of the Captain America wiki skim, the original Bucky was like some kid that was like a kid sidekick to Captain America. And then they introduced Bucky Barnes as like Captain America's friend. Or Steve Rogers' friend, rather. From the little bit I do remember, Winter Soldier and Black Widow are part of the same Red Room program. Well, not the exact same Red Room program, but the same part of the Red Room. Though they're all about like torturing people into submission. Speaking of which, what you got for me?
One of my favorite quotes, on your left.
It's pretty good.
I just wrote on your left, like as you're getting like...
On your left. Yeah, you're on my left.
I like how Captain America has the things that he missed, like a book.
Oh yeah, like the book of like...
things I missed.
Here's the music you gotta listen to.
Here's what you've got to listen to. Here's the things you've got to look at. Star Wars is one of them. But then it makes sense.
You know what? I love and hate it. I love it because, all the obvious reasons. But I hate it because this has happened to me in real life. I don't know if you had like those, not old, but older people come up to you and be like, y'all don't know nothing about, you gotta check out this. Because I haven't, don't tell anybody, but I haven't seen Star Wars. Well, the original trilogy and the prequels. I've seen episode 7, that's it. But obviously I've had most of my life the people coming up to be like, man, what? You gotta check out this Star Wars, Star Trek, Firefly, Indiana Jones. Bro, you gotta check out Bebe's Kids.
People didn't like the prequel trilogy very much when it first came out. Like it's either been every time the new trilogies come out, everyone's hated it until something worse comes along.
That's a bigger conversation about media in general.
Yeah.
But please continue.
Black Widow looks annoyed on the ship when talking to Bucky at the beginning. I noticed a little bit at one part.
The Bucky?
Not Bucky. Captain America.
Oh.
Why do I keep getting those confused? And I was like, why though? Besides the jumping off the ship, that I wouldn't say happened before that.
I don't know. I didn't notice it.
I noticed it and I was like, what? Like the few scenes, I'm like, why does she look annoyed? Maybe it's something happened in the acting room. I'm just like, I wanted to bring it up.
I got a feeling it's not the acting room. It might just be. I guess I'd have to look at it. I have a feeling it's not the acting room. Because from what I've heard, the Chris Evans is actually a pretty cool guy. And it might just be because she had like a different mission or something. And Captain America is Steve Rogers is a somewhat goody two shoes.
Yeah. We'll get to that later. I thought you were more than a shield, and Captain America dropped the shield. I'm like,
the dumbest. What a dumbass.
I actually have a different opinion on this. I'm like, I could see what they're going for originally, and then my Captain Marvel just like blasting someone. I feel like they missed both marks on both times that it happened.
I think for Captain Marvel, a scene like that would have made sense though.
Yeah.
But for okay, made more sense. But for Steve Rogers to just decide, all right, you're not dangerous enough for me to use the shield. I have a mission to do, but honor and pride and all that.
I find this like very historically accurate, like Shield building a whole bunch of weapons to prevent people from attacking everything from space. I'm like, escalation, shenanigans. You get shenanigans.
They're building the equivalent of nukes.
Yeah.
Or what nukes are supposed to be. You hold a gun to everybody and proclaim it as free. I forget exactly the quote was, but
yeah,
you're holding a gun to the world and calling it security or something like that, which is basically what nukes are.
By holding a gun to everyone's head and calling it protection.
Yes.
That's what it's called. I wrote that down.
Okay, good. They're building what nukes are supposed to be in the current world.
Big government organizations trying to get more power, basically. Until Nick Fury suspects something, which is next. Captain America meets a support group for people who have gone through war and stuff. And that's where we start meeting the Falcon.
Which is, I'm surprised he doesn't need, actually.
Yeah, I'm like, you might need that. The Winter Soldier's first scene, I was worried he was actually when it almost kills Nick Fury. And, like, goes back to meet Nick Fury. Don't trust anyone. Immediately trust Captain America. And then, like, gets a file and everything. But, like, how did he hide it in the vending machine?
I assume you just asked the guy that was working there. Because I found it kind of weird looking back that they make it a point to show that this guy is just stocking a vending machine. But I guess that was, like, our explanation to the audience. Like, hey, this is how this got to the back of the vending machine.
I like how the who can you trust in this movie. It's like everyone trying not trust certain people. Which is, well, it isn't new. He didn't trust Tony very much.
It's a very espionage movie.
Yeah.
I think it's up by now.
Yeah.
But I mentioned in the watch later, the original journey, that this movie gave me a lot of like Cold War vibes. Both in how they're essentially using information instead of, well, most of the movie is using information to prevent conflict, as well as like the espionage factor to it.
The elevator scene was the most obvious trap I ever saw.
Which one?
The elevator scene.
The elevator scene.
Yeah, like, wow, they're really building this up. The Captain America just kind of just sits there and doesn't try to jump out early.
That scene's actually, most people that think about this movie, that is the scene they go to. Looking back on it, I completely understand why. So you mentioned the build-up. There's quite a bit of build-up in this like scene specifically. Just the slowly people getting onto the elevator, like, something normal. But I realize it's a lot of Captain America literally reading the room.
Yeah.
Like seeing, this guy's nervous because he's like sweating and his eyes kind of twitching. This guy's got a gun on him in an office building. And then that quick one-liner before we get, like, he reveals, like, yep, I know what's going down. Before we get started, is there anyone that would like to get off? And then
everyone just tried to kick his butt. The trust no one, I feel like, is really starting to go up because, like, they're really trying to get this project off the ground, obviously for later reasons, plot reasons. Where I can just say, like, Hydra.
Go for it.
Hydra is behind this one. And I'm like, how do they stay alive? And then it's later revealed a whole bunch of things about it, but I'll go into that later, put a pin on that. I said Natasha has some interesting covert methods, but I don't remember why. But she got the file from the vending machine. Which I'm like, I wonder how she did it, but she's a super spy, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Probably just bought all the gum.
Yeah. I love how like the chase scene, like how Captain America has to keep a low profile, and like how Natasha keeps helping him like get through it. He would not have gotten through this by himself, and like figured out where the secret lab was when they went to the bunker from his past. So both of them, he has memory of his past and knows what's changed, and Natasha knows certain areas to figure out how to get into areas easily. Black
Widow's a lot better at the actual staying alive and staying unnoticed part.
Yeah, Captain America is not.
Whereas Cap he's got details.
I knew Hydra came back. But like, oh, it was in S.H.I.E.L.D.
Apparently that also happened in the comic.
Obviously, Black Widow's upset about this. I like how Nick Fury wanted to keep S.H.I.E.L.D., but he gets outvoted. Like, we're following Captain America.
Well, Cap, I guess you're in charge now.
I like how Hydra is revealed by Captain America in the area. I always thought it would be better if Nick Fury was, like, giving the speech when Captain America, both Nick Fury and Captain America were there. But then I realized...
Oh, when he's doing the... over the loudspeaker, like, hey guys, this is, Hydra. And you don't have to fight with me, but, like... I don't know, I haven't pegged Nick Fury to be someone who gives, like, amazing speeches, though.
Yeah, true. Bucky versus the Winter Soldier... No, Bucky. And Captain America versus the Winter Soldier, and, like, I also did, like, Bucky, and, like, how much does Bucky remains, and how much does the Winter Soldier remains, too. Like, how much each of them remain, actually. Because it's always... that was my big question. It was like, does he have everything back? Or all his memories back later? Or is it just...
That is something the later movies touch on quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
And the series.
The end fight of Captain America versus the Winter Soldier, after they, like, try to get all these, like, programs in to, like, take over the ship or satellites, is kind of sad.
Explain.
Not sad, like, well, like, after they fight him and not the Bucky's down, and, like, Captain America is, like, about knocked out, and, like, Bucky's still trying to fight him. Mm-hmm. Until, like, he gets saved at the end, it kind of, like...
emotional, then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then Bucky saved Captain America, which would add more questions when this movie was released. Like, what... does he remember now? Everything? And... I like how they keep bringing up the government as soon as everything's finished. Like how upset the American government is, or every government's at them, even though they kind of saved everyone. And like how Natasha just talks to them is like an interesting perspective, especially for later movies in the thing. Like I see like I was a little confused about her character sometimes, but it's something. Captain America and the Falcon go after the Winter Soldier at the end of this movie. They said they're going to go after him. Which builds up to the next movie we're going to have on here. But that's going to be for a later time.
Yes.
My main thoughts of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. It was a good movie. I like Bucky as a character.
Alright.
And like as a brainwash thing. He's definitely better than... Okay. Do you mind if I spoil Black Widow's singular movie?
Go for it.
Black Widow in singular movie has Taskmaster as the villain. Taskmaster has had a lot of fans in the comics and games and things like that. How they handle her Taskmaster
versus how they handle
Bucky,
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, they butchered Taskmaster. He's supposed to copy like everyone's moves and fighting styles easily and learning how to deflect them. In Black Widow, he's just a mind controlled person, kind of, But if I won't say that was a bad idea. I'd say, like, you need to develop that more and not just kind of have it for one movie. And instead of the Winter Soldier, they actually build him up for multiple movies and show, like, the complicated relationship between that. The Winter Soldier show what his relationship after he gets out of it. How does he do? And a whole bunch of other stuff. In Black Widow, Taskmaster is just... one and done movie, brain controlled, and dies brain controlled. And I felt like that's a waste.
I will offer 2 counterpoints. I don't believe Taskmaster was brain controlled the entire time. I think it was mostly vengeance, actually.
Yeah.
And then 2, Winter Soldier was only built up for 1 movie.
Yeah.
And we didn't know him as the Winter Soldier. Because like, I'm going off the context of where we are in the MCU, which is... up until this point, this is only our first time seeing the Winter Soldier, but our second time seeing Bucky Barnes.
Yeah, but like having Bucky revealed like to still be alive when it's like shown to be he died, that's a little build up for it. And Black Widow, she's just a random person.
Okay. I will probably ask you about this again when we touch on Black Widow.
Yeah.
Because that's an interesting perspective. I'm just not sure I follow it entirely.
Oh, it's probably because I knew more about Taskmaster before
Oh, okay.
the movie, and I felt like, no.
This is a waste. Like, I definitely agree the character was wasted.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, no.
I'm just like, comparing it to... Because I don't think they're as comparable as you think.
They're not as comparable as I think. I just wanted to put the comparison out there.
Okay.
Because they have some similarities, but not too many.
Anyway, I will probably ask you about this again when we get to Black Widow.
Okay.
That's a bit of ways away, though.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to talk about, though. The Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier in this movie is fucking menacing.
Yeah.
Last time we met, we talked about something called Don't Shoot. This boy be shooting.
He does not hold back. He'll just shoot.
Man, he be shooting in the there's a lot more shooting in this movie actually.
Yeah.
Like quite a bit of people be shooting. But like man, the Winter Soldier went forward in time, heard me complaining about Captain Marvel, was like, I got you.
He was like,
I got this.
I got you. Here, I'll shoot about 3 clips of lead every scene.
They don't be shooting? Oh, word. I got this. And he's absolutely menacing. Like, the way he's introduced and how he is... It seems like, of the villains across the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's at least top 3 of people that actually seem like they want to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Because this man, he's gunning, literally and figuratively, at people all the time.
He will try to murder anyone, like
on command.
Yeah, kill him. Okay, bang.
I got 2 targets at the bridge, or I forget if he said 2 or 3 targets. Yeah. I need them dead in like 21 hours or something. Got it. And he made quite the attempt.
Yeah, he didn't get them, and I feel like that was
well.
Yeah, I expected.
There's some concessions you need to make.
Yeah, but I would be like if the heroes got bullet wounds, but not like death.
Oh, Natasha did twice. Well, one happened before the movie, but she did get shot in the shoulder.
Yeah, yeah. But I would like if Captain America got. I was saying Captain America got shot, or
he did.
Well,
twice actually in that final battle.
Oh right, I forgot. The final battle, yeah, she got shot.
Bro, he be shooting so much, you forgot how much he shot.
Yeah. There's so much injuries in the movie. I just keep forgetting. I kept thinking everyone just got beat up a bunch.
Oh no, Winter Soldier be shooting. Winter Soldier was there to make sure that somebody got shot.
Yeah. So in the end, in the movie, I think he's the best use of guns in like a Marvel movie.
He's the best shooter for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, best use of guns. That's kind of subjective.
I find it interesting that Tasha has encountered him before.
Yeah, I guess based on their comic backstory, that is actually technically she has. So I was referring to earlier that bullet wound that she got before the movie is the Winter Soldier as well.
Yeah, I know that.
So she did actually encounter him. It's just off camera.
I know she encountered him off camera, but like. I find it interesting, and does that happen in the comics? Like she encountered him half camera.
Oh, so like I was saying earlier, they're both part of the Red Room, which, well, not the exact same program, but the same program that kind of turns people into mindless monsters, like the Black Widows, and in this case the Winter Soldier. So they probably have met at least once before they became enemies, then became heroes again.
I'm surprised Captain America has not lost his shield like in the crash. What happened? He never seems to lose that shield.
I mean,
because
symbolism.
Yeah, but I'm like, it could, if like when they meet Wakanda, it was like you're thinking like they could like make a new shield for him. If like he lost it, it'd be cool. I think with the same symbolism with it.
All right. Speaking of symbolism, this movie kind of highlights because I alluded to earlier in our Captain America review, even in the countries that hate the United States, a lot of the people still like the character of Captain America for what he represents. This movie kind of puts a spotlight on some of those aspects. So in this movie, he is technically going against the United States. it's technically not the United States, but he is technically going against the United States. He does become a fugitive for quite a bit of the movie.
Yeah.
But the idea of it's not so much that he's defending the United States, but like what the United States is supposed to represent, as well as like his interactions with Nick Fury, where Nick Fury is initially on board with building the Minority Report, essentially. Use AI to determine who is going to be a terrorist or not.
Yeah.
Which is frightening. You know, I thought the punishment came after the crime.
That's the thing. Like, I find that like very relevant because some people in like China want to do that.
They were already doing.
They were already doing it, but they want like AI to do it for them.
Okay.
They've already tried to AI judge, so they can just quickly do that for like my people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, it's not the best because it can be hacked. But they're trying to do like with AI. And like, oh wow, like it's a real this movie, except for maybe the flying satellites thing, they would do something more deadly to make sure you were dead instead of just guns.
I'm black and I live in the United States, so this is super relevant to me.
No, I'm thinking more.
You don't have to respond to it.
No, I'm thinking about what else China has done. They would. In Russia, they try to do that with AI too. They have like their own AI program they're trying to set up.
Hey, everybody's jumping on AI.
Yeah, and like people are warning how dangerous it can be. And you know the masks thing for like COVID, people are using that to get around facial recognition.
From what I've seen, the best way to defeat facial recognition is be a juggalo.
Be a what?
Yeah, heard of juggalos? All right, they typically wear like this really. Hang on.
Oh, you mean those big masks?
Not big mask.
Okay.
All right. I'll probably have a picture of what juggalos look like on the screen. But
I didn't think face paint would work that well.
Apparently it does. It's like a 0% match in terms of like what your face is supposed to look like.
So carnivals are out of the question for facial recognition.
Oh, yeah. Well, clowns at least.
No, carnivals, because like a lot of places have like carnivals or fairs or things like that. Mm-hmm. They have own face painting stations.
Yeah.
So like that would.
Well, so you can have some face paint, and like I think it was like Apple's Face ID thing that they were testing, to where it will kind of like somewhat recognize it. But it's specific. It's not even like clown makeup specifically. It's specifically the way that juggalos wear their makeup. That just AI has no idea what to do. That's not even human. What are you showing me?
I'm gonna have to research this more.
I've been meaning to look into the juggalo community as well.
It's like ultimate denier.
Well, they're like a counterculture movement, I believe.
Yeah. What if it becomes the main fashion state? Everyone wears paint now everywhere.
Bro. You mean to tell me for all these years I've been made fun of for being right? Enough about juggalos. I forget what we were talking about.
Winter Soldier, like facial recognition.
Yes. I forgot exactly what I remember now. What the larger point I was making, but I forget if I had anything to add to that. So I'm going to move on.
Okay.
I realized in past episodes that I've referred to Black Widow as the luckiest woman alive. And I realized that is actually an in-joke from the Watch Later.
Yeah.
Which is something that only I would get because I'm the only one who has seen the entire thing. And I'm pretty sure the specific clips that I'm referring to aren't on the Clips channel and may not be even now. Mm-hmm. So I figured I should explain what I mean by this, because this movie is a pretty good example, maybe not the best one. So Captain America has a shield. When he's fighting opponents, whether they have like knives, bullets, they have even explosions, that shield will typically take care of everything.
It's vibranium.
Hulk is unpierceable from what we've seen. I don't know what Thor's defense is. I think he just flies out of the way. Which actually puts him in, which would actually put him in the same category as Black Widow in this case. You got Iron Man, his armor is pretty much bulletproof, but it is punchable.
Bullets have a different like impact than punches, so they would actually do different damage. You see, like like from D&D, piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning damage, things like that.
Yeah,
those are actually based off real life, concepts. Like slashing can pierce some armor, while piercing cannot. And it depends on how you mold it, but some armor can actually not take bullets because they kind of just shoot really fast and impact you.
Mm-hmm.
That's mainly bludgeoning, or actually for the impact. So if you can take on piercing easily, you won't be able to hit.
Black Widow's solution to fighting enemies is run away. It's absurd how many times people are shooting at her, and she's just, man, fuck the Matrix. What, we don't, like, Domino got introduced in Deadpool 2, we don't need her anymore. Black Widow? Black Widow's where it's at. Just dodge the bullets.
Imagine if that was actually possible. Really.
All these people wearing all this fancy armor, we're taking all these fancy drugs, wearing all their fancy shields. Nah, just dodge the bullets. Just run from the bullets. That's all you gotta do. Good lord. It is absurd how many times that she's been shot at and she just,
Go for it. There's a BB gun, and someone in Japan actually managed to cut it up with a sword once and like dodge it. BB guns, which shouldn't be possible with current human understanding. That was a while ago, like a couple years ago, so maybe they understand it now or things like that. But like we don't know exactly what normal like limits of humans can dodge is. Not that I'm saying that maybe Black Widow is maybe too absurd for this conversation.
I was about to say, like, that's a bit different from like, if she was just like a samurai just slashing bullets, it'd be a little bit more believable, actually.
Yeah, just run away.
Just outrun the gun. All those other kids? Nah. Just, she can outrun the gun. She will outrun the gun.
I don't feel it as absurd because they're maybe focusing on like other more prominent targets of like lasers from.
I will say it's not like as absurd as I'm making it out to be, because a lot of her combat scenes are close quarters, where she's like flipping and dipping and
like always grabbing people around the legs and just flipping them over.
I call this one. Actually, I'm not gonna say it, but just run up, grab him by the face with the crotch, pull him to the ground. Works every time.
It doesn't work every time. We got someone with their shoulder.
Oh yeah,
always
it works most of the time. It works enough that she's still on the team.
Yeah,
I like this move. It's my favorite move. Her ability to flip and dip around the bullets is amazing, though.
Yeah,
I figured I should clarify, especially now that we're here, because I realized, oh wait, I'm making an in-joke that only I would get. You touched on Caffrey trying to reconnect with the world. Although, so, Black Widow notwithstanding, it is refreshing to see what I refer to in the watch later as human shit in this movie.
Right.
And I think I also got into it kind of in the last two that we did, but not magical, not technological, not drug enhanced or gamma waves or whatnot have you. It's regular shootable people doing somewhat regular things.
I'm gonna argue with like regular things. No, it's like the elevator scene is not like regular human.
Well, okay, he's superhuman.
Yeah,
but he's not. He's not basically magic like the rest of the cast.
True.
Well, like, you think of someone like Iron Man. What he's doing is basically magic.
Actually,
there's logic to it, sure, but it's basically magic.
People have found a way to actually make a like Iron Man like laser.
Some of it. People are going to find ways to make most of the things
with a microwave
that anyone can come up with. But like, there's no way all those weapons fit into that suit of armor.
Oh yeah, true.
It's basically like the kind of stuff he accomplishes, basically magic. None of that in this movie. The most we get is Falcon, actually. That's the most magical character in this movie.
All right, because he can fly with like his wings.
Tiny wings, yeah. Like that's as magical as we get in this movie. But like, the solution to defeating the enemy is punch and kick them or shoot them. It's not blast them with my laser, turn into a big green man and smash, become a literal god of thunder.
The solution
and magic.
And the solution actually in the movie is hack the big deadly machines and make them shoot each other.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. There's actually, of the fight scenes, most of the important things in this movie are not fighting.
Yeah.
It's espionage, actually. Speaking of espionage, ties into, like, this movie has a huge themes of, like, trust and things like that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, technically not spoilers, but we live in the world of hindsight. What do you think Secret Invasion is going to be like?
Like this movie, but with more espionage, trying to figure out maybe there's some bad scrolls.
That's what people are hoping for. And it does, I don't know if you've seen like the trailers or anything, it does seem to be shot, or at least the trailers show it to be shot, like this movie.
Yeah.
Which has people very excited. I don't know if you know, this is, of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this is typically regarded as like top 3 of the movies. I definitely understand why. For a while, this was my favorite Marvel movie. And then I watched Spider-Man. Something I wanted to, tying into the theme of trust, I'm glad this movie still gives, as well as like how good this movie is, this movie builds up tension very well.
It builds up tension very well, yes.
I don't know if you remember, Nick Fury enters, or is caught in Captain or Steve Rogers' apartment. I still got goosebumps seeing he holds up the phone, shield, just 2 words, shield compromised. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about it, actually. Just how, like, absolutely scary that is. Shield compromised. How many people know about this? You and me. Only my friends. Or just my friends. Ears Everywhere is the other one.
Yeah.
The absolute masterclass in both building up tension and then, like, the release at the end. That final scene with, I guess, Captain America and Winter Soldier at this point. Mm-hmm. And I don't know exactly what made it so emotional, other than it's 2 friends fighting. Or we used to be friends fighting.
It's a person you've lost the like connection to, which you thought was gone forever, being there, but being a completely different person. And you can tell they may be in there somewhere, but you can't figure out how to help them. Mm-hmm. It can be related to both of these people, not like the way
in the literal sense, yeah.
Yeah, in the literal sense, but not of that extreme.
Yeah. I too fought in a giant helicarrier to save my friend.
In conspiracy to destroy like millions of people.
That's last Tuesday, man. Get with the times.
But people can relate to like trying to reach out to somebody they can't figure out how to help.
Unfortunately, the entire time that fight scene was playing, all I could think of was Naruto and Sasuke, which is a shame, really.
Yeah,
I should really need to get that out of my memory.
I haven't watched Naruto for a couple of reasons. I heard about how good it is, but I just wasn't interested in it.
Naruto is good. Shippuden kind of goes off the rails. Oh, and then another standout moment, also tension, when Winter Soldier is about to get mind wiped again.
Yeah.
And you see, like, because he obviously remembers, and how, like, his breath starts getting heavy, starts sweating, and all the things as he's, like, leaning into the chair. Like, because he knows what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Even though his mind is getting wiped, he remembers, or at least his body does, what's about to go down. Kind of messed up, actually. But
I think this was best based on actual methods the U.S. government tried to do brainwashing. Some people now they're trying through TVs from my last time I checked. Like, they tried it through televisions, like certain frequencies of noise with you and your can't hear, trying to mess with people's minds. Some other things, drugs induced brainwashing and things. None of them worked. They got true serum out of it. But this is like the terrifying realization of like what would happen if someone got their hands on that kind of technology.
A lot of characters get pushed to their limits in this movie.
Yeah.
Maybe not like their absolute limits, but it is appreciated that the characters actually do struggle quite a bit in this movie.
Mentally and physically.
Yes.
They all deserve a vacation.
Other than that, I have like a few quick bullet points. It's actually kind of refreshing. Because I don't know if you noticed, there haven't been a whole lot of like villains getting up on their soapbox and saying, "Let me explain my evil plan," in recent memory.
No.
Which is weird, because that's such a like huge trope.
Yeah.
But we actually don't see it much anymore.
We don't see it very much anymore because they're trying to subvert the tropes. But some tropes are there because they're entertaining.
Yeah, they're entertaining. Or we actually got it in this movie. I forget his name. Scientist guy uploads his brain to a computer and literally explains to Steve and Natasha, here's my, well, maybe not my evil plan, but here's the evil plan. Oh, and then the other thing, I don't know if you caught it, they name drop Stephen Strange in this movie, which is kind of weird, especially in the context.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. He's appeared in a few other movies, but the guy they get on the roof to explain to them what the algorithm is. And like he's explaining, you know, how powerful this algorithm is and what it could do. Yeah. And he, like, there's a moment where he goes like, Bruce Banner, Stephen Strange, anyone that Hydra deems a threat, take him out. Yeah. Which I find kind of weird, because this movie happens way before Doctor Strange. So, like, is Stephen Strange the surgeon just that good that he's a threat to Hydra? Or are they on, like, some time travel shenanigans?
Could be time travel. They aren't going multiverse. Wait, actually, it technically takes place early in the canon, because they were originally planning for Doctor Strange a lot earlier.
Oh, okay.
So, Doctor Strange as a movie series, as a franchise, has been, like, all of this movie's gone for production hell, I'll be honest.
Okay, so Doctor Strange was supposed to come out a lot earlier then.
Yes, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Okay. So but yeah, like, on the MCU timeline, Doctor Strange happens after Spider-Man. Like, way later than Winter Soldier.
When you mention Doctor Strange, I'm thinking, like, well, anyone they can, I guess he's scared of threats.
Bro, that surgeon, he's too good. Yeah. He's the best surgeon around. You see his hands are so steady. Hope nothing happens to him. Unless it's us. You know what? Hydra was the guy. There was a Hydra operative in that car when Doctor Strange got hit. That's what it was. We got him. Ladies and gentlemen.
There's still shown to be some Hydra agents after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, we cracked the code.
What else?
That's all I have for my notes, actually.
So, well, I guess it's a good cutting off point for actually.
Yeah.
Could end with Stephen Strange. Why was he mentioned?
They saw the writing on the wall. We got to take this guy out. We can't let him do it.
Yeah. We can't let him be a threat.
All right. I alluded to this earlier. This was one of my favorite movies at the time that I saw it. It has been surpassed by some later movies, but I still hold this at least top 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, at least.
Do you hold it better than Age of Ultron?
Yes. Oh, definitely. I hold it higher than Civil War, actually. Speaking of Civil War, that is what we're getting into next. I'm hoping that conversation is a lot more interesting, though.